What's going on, America? What's going on, YouTube? What's going on, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you name it, wherever you're checking out the show from. What's happening? Kev from Kevin's Corner here, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. That's right, y'all. And before we get into this tonight, make sure you can hear me. Check one, breaker, 1-9. Got to do all of my checks and stuff like that, just in case the man is trying to mess with my system, my setup here. You never know. All right. So if you are chiming in from the live stream, wherever you're from, let me know. Say what's happening. I see some people saying, we're here. We hear you. Good. Okay. Now I see the chats. I see the chats kicking in. So I was a few minutes late. But now YouTube got some funny little thing that's going on here. Every time I go to set the live stream up, it's vertical. And, it's giving me some problems converting to horizontal. And the same thing happened with Facebook. That's why I don't live stream from Facebook anymore, because I never figured out how to get that back to what it was. So, that's a problem. So we'll see how long that continues. Maybe it's just a glitch in their system for a couple of days or so. But it happened to me yesterday as well. It's just that I had the time to go ahead and make that correction. People say, greetings from Florida. Man, I would love to be down there because it's chilly outside. I'm pretty sure I saw Chilly Willy walking around right outside my door. But it's a little chilly up here, but it's nice and sunny. I'm pretty sure down in Florida, like it always is. All right, now we got some stuff to talk about. Hit that like button, share my videos, follow me on all of the other social media platforms that you are connected to. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're still subscribed if you have been subscribed, because you never know. With YouTube, you never know. And also make sure your notifications are turned on and set to all. And let's see what else we need to go over before I get loose. Nothing. So let me go ahead and get loose so I can get busy. Just like a silverback. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. There's some kings in the building. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Yeah, man. So as you can see, just as in my little thumbnail there, I'm green. I got on green. I got on green right now because, sometimes you got to put your green on because you're mean. You got to get like Brutus or Bluto, whatever one you prefer. I'm mean. You know what I mean. He's mean. I say what I mean. Do, 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 do. I know what I mean. Do, 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 do. I'm so darn mean. I got to get like Brutus off of Popeye and get mean sometimes, man, because these people are playing for keeps. They're playing for keeps, so we got to get mean with them. So there you have it. But before we get too mean, I want to invite y'all to go to the store and purchase some items for Christmas. You still got time, so don't forget to check out the merch store. There's some things that if you want to purchase in the store, you can. You can become a part of that Gorilla Clan. And that number you see on your screen right there, 330-974-4607. If you text that number you text MAGA to that number, just in case some glitches take place, purposefully or accidentally, you'll be able to stay connected with me, if you know what I mean. But you can also do that by subscribing to my alternative channel. Follow me on Rumble, follow me on Facebook, X, all of that stuff, because I'm gonna start building my how should I put it, my audience. When it comes down to X, I want to focus some more on that, and Rumble and all of that good stuff. So I need you guys to help me do that. All right. And don't forget to support the channel. If you want to, you don't want to buy merch, you don't want to do any of those things, you can always like, share the videos, and then finally, but not least, you can donate to my monthly fundraiser, which the link is right below. But I think the date is almost over, guys. We didn't crack nothing this month. I don't know what happened. I don't know. Yeah, Christmas. That's what it was. It's Christmas. Y'all probably had to spend it all on Christmas toys and stuff, but it's okay. I never complain, because whatever you give, I appreciate it, even if it's nothing but a nickel or a dime or a penny. Even those that send me stuff in the mail, I appreciate it. People send me props. How y'all think I be getting all these props, y'all? People be sending me props, which I want to give them props for sending me props. People be sending me all kind of letters. Some people send me checks, and I appreciate all of that stuff. Just in words of encouragement. all of those things, everything counts. So never think that what you do doesn't matter. Okay. It's not always summed up in a monetary, sacrifice. It's done in so many other ways. So I appreciate everything that you guys do. Now you already know. Y'all already know we got to get into this mess. I didn't catch it last night during the live stream. Some of y'all was trying to, let me know that, hey, Kev, man, what's up with Colorado? What's up with the Colorados and stuff? Now, we all been seeing what's going on. We all know where we're at in our country when it comes down to the left and these globalists and them attempting to stop Donald Trump. We all know that they would be willing to go to whatever extreme to do it. It just becomes surreal when they actually do stuff that, we kind of start off joking about, then they end up doing it, and you're like, wow, they really did that? It goes to show that there is no limit when it comes down to what they are willing to do to stop Trump. Now, let's be real. If they would have left Trump alone, they wouldn't have to worry about this. And now they've worried about, okay, now we've poked this bear, we put this silverback in a cage, and we had a stick poking it the whole time. Poking it the whole time, getting mad. Poking it. It's all fun and games. Then all of a sudden, the cage is open and you're wondering about all your choices. You're saying, oh God, this bad boy right now, when he gets out this cage, is going to go to work on all of us. We should have left the silverback alone. We shouldn't have been poking it, man. It's like the Hulk. Why do you keep attacking the Incredible Hulk when you know it only makes him madder and stronger? Why do you keep doing that? So if they'd have left him alone, first of all, his 4 years would almost be over by now. The ones that he actually won against Biden, well, almost over. And then they could go ahead and put whatever raggedy candidate they want up there and see whatever. But they didn't want to risk that because, see, they didn't want to risk the chance of Donald Trump restoring America to its former glory and getting rid of some of the institutions and unwinding some of the progress that these globalists and these full-blown rhinos and Democrats, all of them, all the progress they had made. They didn't want to run the chance of Donald Trump unraveling that because he's the one that was stuck right in the way of them doing it when Hillary was supposed to pick up the mantle and finish destroying the country. So they were looking at it from a perspective of, okay, we want to go ahead and ruin America. We want to become a globalist country. We want to continue to be in power. We don't want what Trump is offering. So we don't want to take another 4 years because his damage might be, too much for us to recover. But they don't realize now that they have done what they've done. The damage is going to be worse if he wins, because now he knows exactly what he's up against. He knows his enemy. The first time it was just like, we're going to drain the swamp, but he didn't explore the swamp deeply. He wasn't in there going through it with, some type of scientific kit. Decide, what is this bacteria? Is this algae? What does this do? He wasn't in it like that. Everybody knows a swamp is nasty and dirty. People don't even want to get in the swamp. You don't have to tell me all of the stuff in the swamp, Kev, to keep me from jumping in there. I can look at a swamp and tell it's dirty. All right. But until you really know all of the microorganisms, all of the scum that sits at the bottom, all of the effects that it has on the human body, you really don't know how foul the swamp is. See, and now Trump had a chance to put it all under the microscope. And he's like, oh, now that I know how dirty and nasty the swamp is, I got a better idea of how to kill it. I know what type of stuff I need to spray to kill this. I know what type of stuff is going to go ahead and destroy this bacteria. They know that now. So if they'd have left him alone, they would be done with his 4 years. And even if they would have got him out the first time and still left him alone, they would be looking at least another presidency that he might not go too hard on the swamp again. He might just be saying, okay, they beat me the first time, but I haven't heard from them since I left the White House. And, it is what it is. But what did they do? Nope. They're like, yo, now that he's out of the office, what we're going to do is we're going to intensify. We're going to go ahead and continue to follow this man around, because as long as he's breathing, long as he's walking around, long as he has a following, he's a potential danger. They have to not only destroy him, but the idea of Trump. They have to destroy the idea of make America great again, which is a wonderful slogan, which blows my mind that they, for some reason, have taken such a wonderful slogan like make America great again and demonized it. They don't want people to look at the United States as something that we should be proud of. We should make it great again. What should we do? Make it worse? Huh? What should we do? Keep it the same? Huh? All of that. So they have done everything they can to kill the influence, the history, the results of Trump, the supporters of Trump. They've done all they could. And they did it even after he was out of the White House. So they kept messing with him, kept messing with him, kept messing with him, thinking that this one will stick. This one will finally do the trick. All right, we done went ahead and got the fake phony J6 committee going. We got the media on board with us, going around telling everybody it's the insurrection, most deadly insurrection in the history of the United States. You know what? Alexandria Cortex talking about how almost died in our basement and stuff like that. We had all of that going on. Brought up cops and officers. I was scared for my life. And yes, I was scared. They told me, you know what, are you even here legally? And I said, of course. I mean, all of that. They put on a performance, impeached the man twice, put that J6 bootleg crap together, and then that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough. They didn't catch the telltale signs. They didn't realize that, wait, if we leave this dude alone and we start talking about him and we tell the media, hey, act like y'all moved on. Act like Trump's not important. It might dilute the interest in him. It might take away from the highlight of how obvious it is that we are trying to stop this man. But what did they do? Nah, we're going to go ahead and take it to a whole nother level. Okay, because that's the style of the Democrats. That's the style of the deep state. That's the style of the liberal media. They don't realize that the average person knows when enough is enough. The average person is able to tell that, wait a minute, now it seems like you're piling on. Now it seems like that's overkill. So what did they do? Let's get him on some indictments. Four of them. 91 charges, felonies, all kind of stupid stuff. This started waking up more people. But not only did it wake up more people to what they're doing to stop Trump, but it also makes it more dangerous to them if Trump gets back in power, because they just didn't know when to stop. Now they're saying, uh-oh, now we done truly created the Incredible Hulk. Now we done truly made him madder and stronger than he's ever been. And if we don't sell out and do everything we can to stop this man, I mean, I don't care how obvious it looks. I don't care how much it looks like it's violating our civil liberties and our constitutional rights and disenfranchising voters that we always claim we're protecting. I don't care how much that looks obvious to the public. We have no other choice. We got to pull out all the stops because we have attacked this man relentlessly, and now we're at his mercy if he wins, which I'm hoping he has none. I'm hoping that all the mercy has run dry if he gets back in office. I hope he unleashes a can of whoop tail on these people like never before, because if you leave a smidge of them still in power, they will rise up again and start repeating the same stuff. I want these institutions and agencies torn down. I want anything he can do legally to hold all of the components accountable for their part that they played in these last 8 years or so. Anything you can do legally. I don't care if it's ways to figure out how to punish, take away certain liberties that communication companies get for being whatever. I don't care. Whatever he can use to hold them accountable, to make them stop and think twice to ever do something like this again, to ever side with the government, to ever side with, globalists. Whatever he can do within the rights that he has as a president, not like the Democrats. See, they draw outside the lines. They'd have been horrible in kindergarten. All right, Jimmy, I want you to color this rabbit, stay within the lines, and Jimmy starts outside the lines. That's how the Democrats are. But I want him to color everything inside the lines. I don't want to see a little white space here. I want to see him fill it up, color everything, use all the power he can to stick it to these people, because this is the stuff that they have just completely reverted to doing. So let's go ahead and get into this mess, because it burns me up, man. After I got off my live stream last night, I was like, what? Dun, 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 dun. Uh-oh. What is this? Colorado Supreme Court removes Trump from 24 ballot based on the 14th Amendment insurrection ban. What is this?
It's no wonder crooked Joe Biden and the far left lunatics are desperate to stop us by any means necessary. They are willing to violate the U.S. Constitution at levels never seen before in order to win this election. Joe Biden is a threat to democracy. It's a threat.
Absolute threat. So the people that they're claiming is the threat. Trump's a threat. He's an existential threat to democracy. We're going to be hearing that throughout some of the clips that I'm showing tonight. He's an absolute threat that you know, our democracy is at risk and all of that stuff. And in reality, we all know this is projection. The real threat to our democracy we are facing. And in this little meme, who do we have? That's Trump right there. Who are all these people coming up against him? Oh, sometimes you got to just take a stand. In this little meme, we got the media. Wow. They're the biggest one. They are keeping these people in business. We got the GOP rhinos. They're the ones that's the insider threat to their own voters, their own party. Joe Biden, which he's a threat because he's the puppet that they're using. See, they got their hand up his butt. That's what they had. That's right. True international depression, isolate and punish China. You know, all of that stuff. However, he's a threat because he's the vessel that they're using right about now. Then you got on this side, the Democrats. You got the DOJ, the state government, all of these threats. And then you got Trump. But what's crazy, though, is as great as that scene is, he has us behind him. And that's a bigger threat than Trump. So Trump's the initial threat. He is right now the projection of the sentiments of the people. The people have, you know, a heart for Trump. And they also have bought into the MAGA movement, the idea of Make America Great Again. Before, it was just whispered in corners. It was just people talking about, you know, it's probably more important that our politicians look out for their own people first. It's crazy how they just saw. But to internalize it and see it's possible, not just to sit back and talk about it in theory, not just to sit back around the coffee table criticizing our leaders. And then during those times, folks weren't even broken up into Republican or Democrat. They all was just sitting right here. These leaders, I tell you, they something else. They should be focused on our country first. But then you see Trump get in and he decides that I'm going to show you what it looks like, not in theory, but in practice. How to make America great again, how to keep America first, the interests of America first. And we got a taste of it. And that's a problem. See, it's hard to put that genie back in the bottle. And so now Trump not only is a problem to them, but the followers, the people who bought into the MAGA movement is also a problem to all of those little, groups that was listed in that meme, including the Rhino Party. So now here we go, y'all. They are pulling another one. They decided, you know what? The 4 indictments aren't good enough. Yep. They say, you know what? The 91, what are they? Indictments, the 91 felony charges aren't good enough. Nope. The 2 impeachments aren't good enough. The botched Russia collusion delusion wasn't good enough. The pandemic wasn't good enough. All of that mess wasn't good enough. So here we are, y'all. Now, if Trump wasn't a threat, do you think they would do this right here, y'all?
And breaking news, the Colorado Supreme Court has declared Donald Trump ineligible for presidency under Constitution's insurrection clause. The decision from a court whose justices were all appointed by Democratic governors marks the first time in history that Section 3 of the 14th Amendment has been used to disqualify a presidential candidate.
Now, do you understand the level of desperation that they have to go through to do this right here? Never done before. Some low level Supreme Court justice up in Colorado decide that, man, you know what we're going to do? We're going to take away the will of the people. We're going to do something that obviously is not going to sit well in the stomach of Americans across the country. Probably even a lot of Coloradoans who might not even vote for Trump, but still like, what? That don't seem right. Y'all taking the man off the ballot? So you understand the gonads that these Supreme Court justices have to say, hey, man, what the heck? Let's just do it. All the other times they tried to do this in other states, it was shot down or rejected. The furthest they came was a Supreme Court judge who decided to say verbally, well, I personally think Donald Trump is an insurrectionist, but I can't, justify removing this man from the ballot. But all it takes is a small group of dummies to say, we're going to be pioneers to this stupidity and put our reputation at complete risk. We're going to be the ones that make history as the 4 judges that tried to overthrow the will of the people and broke every precedent that we have in regards to our voting, our constitution, all of that. We're going to be the ones that do it. Now, they didn't stop and consider that either we're going to be heroes or we're going to be zeros in this. Okay, either this is going to work or it's going to backfire. And my gut tells me it's going to backfire. But the fact that they're willing to go to this level where they're saying we're going where nobody has ever gone before. They're out there right now talking about some they're out there like, Scotty, take us out. They're out there in areas that never have been charted before. But that just goes to show, would anybody risk their whole career and reputation on just doing something that are like, you know what, this really don't impact me. It's not a danger to our power. It's not nobody would take this risk if they didn't feel like we ain't got no choice. We ain't got no choice to take that. I mean, right now, you know, our reputation, all this stuff is greater. This is a greater situation than our reputation. So now they're going where nobody has ever gone before. All of these things they've been doing to Trump, these are things that are new. No other president's charged with this stuff. No other president had their crib raided, looking for classified documents. No, they don't do this to nobody else. But with Trump, they're breaking all of this stuff out. And they want us to overlook it like it's normal.
Trump's attorneys have promised to appeal any disqualification immediately to the U.S. Supreme Court.
Significant indeed. I want to bring in the rest of our team right now. Ellie Honig, I'll spend
Crook with Blitzer. So you listen there. Crook Blitzer. Here we go. Now he's talking about significant indeed. So let's see if you think this thing is going to stick or slide off the wall. They're going to discuss it in CNN like this is legit.
Thing is this decision.
Well, Wolf, this is a historic decision. It's a momentous decision. As the Supreme Court itself says, they are in uncharted territory here, but it's...
So why go there? That's my question. Why be the pioneer? You understand the implications of your choices, Supreme Court? This is not one of them little small decisions that stays local. People don't hear about. You're making a decision that will bring a spotlight on you guys, Colorado, and of course, what it's going to do, put another spotlight right back on Trump. That's what it's going to do. Right now, it's trending all over the place, everywhere. They just said, you know what, even though, you know, we kind of mellowed things out and Trump is constantly being bombarded, just, you know, nitpicked apart every blue moon here and there from the media. And then, of course, Jack Smith said this and then Fannie said this and then this, all of that. Now, all of a sudden, you trump all of that with this decision. And the crazy part is, I think they made the decision for nothing. They stayed their own decision. They're not even confident that their decision is going to stick. They might have discredited themselves for nothing. But let's go ahead and see how this CNN operative's assessment about the situation.
Really important to keep in mind, this is not the last word here. This is almost certainly going up to the U.S. Supreme Court, which can review the decisions of a state Supreme Court. In fact, the Colorado Supreme Court anticipates that possibility, and for that reason, they put their own ruling on hold until January 4th, anticipating that it will go up to the Supreme Court.
So they just want to, be the first to say, look at us, we're social justice warriors. We're the brave ones that finally decided we're going to do something so asinine, so unjustified, to show everybody how brave we are. We took a stand against that evil, wicked Donald Trump for nothing. They stayed their own decision because what's going to happen, thank God that Trump appointed all of those Supreme Court justices. Where would we be, y'all, if the Supreme Court was compromised right now and co-opted? That's the last puzzle piece that the globalists and the Democrats want to get their knuckles on. They're praying probably for another Supreme Court justice to kick the bucket before Biden gets out of it. I'm sure they are. They're like, oh God, if we could just take over the Supreme Court, then we will run the table. So thank God that Trump had some Supreme Court people placed in, even though They've been raggedy too. They should have took up the case after the election as well. But in this particular case, I'm fairly confident that they will side on Trump's, side. And so, these Supreme Court justices in Colorado was like, that we're going to vote to get him removed from the ballot, but not all the way. We'll wait and see what the Supreme Court is going to say about this, because they know it's going to get shot down. Now, what kind of consequences, though, I wonder, should happen to these judges? I know judges oftentimes have, they're appointed for life and all of this stuff. But when you make a decision this drastic, I now have to question your judgment. When you decide that I'm going to be so political, I can't trust any other decisions that you have to make. I don't trust you anymore. They should be fired. I mean, I don't know if you could fire them. I don't know how the state Supreme Court justice work. I know once a federal justice is put in place, you can't get him out of there. Thank God at this point. But on that level, these folks made that decision. If I was a Coloradoan, I'd be going, do we get to vote on them again? Is there any way to recall these people? These folks attempted to subvert the 2024 election. That's what it is. You want to talk about insurrection? We're looking at an insurrection take place right before our eyes. All of these attempts to stop Trump is the legitimate insurrection. See, that's the irony of it all. When Trump was brought up on that final impeachment that they tried, and his counsel came out and he broke down the definition of an insurrection. Everything that the liberal party, the Democrats have been doing, it all fits the qualifications of an insurrection. What Trump, they allege Trump has done, doesn't. To have an insurrection, you got to have an infrastructure in place to actually implement it. You can't just go in there with a ragtag group of MAGA supporters with some hats and cell phones and declare that's an insurrection. No guns, no weapons, no nothing. And then you say that's an insurrection. He tried to overthrow the government. How would he sustain it if he was successful? What infrastructure did he have in place? Where was his army? Where was his secret police state? Where was the intel community helping him out? So then after he commits his insurrection, they could run cover for him through using the media. Where was all of that? See, but it looks like the Democrats and these globalists, they have that type of power. They have the ability to silence the so-called dictator by muscling big tech. They got the ability to pressure all of the Trump supporters by labeling them to be insurrectionists and a danger to our society. They got all of these people and institutions and agencies in place that have been co-opted to actually do the things that we're looking at right now. Trump couldn't do any of this stuff. Imagine if Trump tried to do this. You think the media would sit back and let his DOJ just wreak havoc upon anybody who supported Hillary Clinton or anybody who supported Joe Biden? Sit back and go after not only Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton, but just say, start going back down the line. Just, let's grab here Joe Biden's lawyer here. We're bringing him up on charges just because he disagreed with this. We're bringing him up on charges, stuff like that. Stuff that no president has ever been brought up on charges for. Do you think the media would have sat back and supported that mess? The insurrection is taking place right before our eyes by using institutions, lawyers, judges, prosecutors, governors, all of these people they have put in place for years in case of a situation just like this. So now let's hear this guy right here talk about this is unprecedented and all that stuff.
The practical consequence as it stands at this moment, though, is that Donald Trump will not be on the Colorado ballot in the race for president in 2024. The Supreme Court almost certainly will take this up. It's also important to keep in mind, for the broader context, there have been dozens of these challenges filed across the country, and 18 or so of them have either failed, been rejected, or been withdrawn by the plaintiff.
So why? Why is that? Because it has no merit. The other judges, I guess, weren't willing to risk their reputation on this stupid judgment. But then we get some dodos, some liberal judges up there in Colorado who decide, our reputation means nothing to us. It's all about activism. Yeah, the integrity of our oath as a Supreme Court justice means nothing. It's hogwash. It's puppycock. All of this stuff means nothing to us. The most important thing is stopping Donald Trump, the existential threat to the United States, or should I say to their power, their control, and their liberal agenda.
This is really an outlier. The Supreme Court is going to have the final say. The consequences here are, of course, enormous.
Norm Eisen, are you surprised by this decision?
Wait a minute. Bring in stupid. Cue some stupid, y'all. Now, that guy right there, he kind of had a moderate approach on his assessment. But now you got to bring in stupid, y'all, to try to make this stupid decision seem smart while making yourself seem stupid by trying to make this stuff seem smart.
Well, Wolf, the law and the politics have collided,
Why? Well, why is that how it should happen? The law and Wolf, the politics have collided. See, that shouldn't happen. You're about to make my point. These judges have become political. And yet you want us to think that, that's a normal process. The law and these politics have collided. Same thing. Tomorrow I'll probably be talking about this. I was going to talk about it today, but this kind of trumped it. But Queen Latifah up there in New York, what is her name? I forget her real name. I've been calling her Queen Latifah so long. But the one that's bringing charges with the crazy judge and all that, she gets up there and she gives out this statement, posts this video talking about before the case even started, the judge decided that Donald Trump was guilty. There you go. Before the case even started, the judge decided that that Donald Trump was guilty. That's how dumb and desperate they are. They don't even stop to think, whoa, I just admitted that the judge is political. He's like, don't bother, Letitia James. Don't bother me with all the details of the case. I don't need to read the docket. I don't need to hear the arguments. None of that stuff means nothing to me. I'm pretty sure that Donald Trump's guilty. I mean, she just straight up said that. Whether she was, knowingly admitting that politics is playing a role in this or not. But that's what she said. So this is a problem.
This instance, law has won. There's a logic to the decision.
Law has won. And there's a logic to this decision. What logic could this man be speaking of?
14th Amendment provides that insurrectionists may not hold office. The lower court found that Donald Trump had engaged in insurrectionist activity.
What lower court is he referring to? Where's the judgment? Where's the ruling? That's my question. So this guy on here is trying to defend this stupid ruling. The lower courts found that Donald Trump participated in an insurrection where? Matter of fact, show me the people on J6 that were charged with insurrection. That's what I want to know. How about you go over the original even purpose for them coming up with the Insurrection Act? Do you think that applies to the president? So let me get this straight. No court, no trial, no nothing. Found Trump guilty of an insurrection. But this guy says the lower court has found that Donald Trump participated in insurrection. What lower court? You're talking about that one judge that simply came out and gave her opinion? Is that a ruling? Is that final? Or is that just simply her opinion? Is that her trying to send a signal to you guys and the rest of her compadres that I'm still on your side? I'm going to go ahead and throw out that I personally think that Donald Trump participated in insurrection. Now, what you guys do with my personal opinion is up to you. If you guys want to use my personal opinion as evidence that Trump participated in an insurrection without me being accountable for accusing him and ruling that he is an insurrectionist, because we don't have any case for that. See, we don't have a case for that. So use my personal opinion to go out so that CNN could get on TV and say things like this. So they could say things like this. So here we go.
Activity that's consonant with what the January 6th committee found.
Oh, you mean that stand-up committee that Nasty Pelosi was over, where she handpicked rhinos and completely put on a show trial that had nobody cross-examining the witnesses, set for primetime TV. You mean that one? That legitimate one that we watched? The one that was doctoring photos and stuff to make it seem like that was a legitimate hanging post that was sitting up there, only to find out that it was a prop. A little girl standing next to it at eye level. Yeah, that one right there. But y'all wanted it to appear that this was that dangerous, that they brought a little prop noose and a little prop hanging post and everything that wouldn't have sustained Mike Pence's weight. None of that stuff. But it was a legitimate threat, guys. It was a legitimate threat. That's what they wanted us to believe. See, so here's this guy, the J6 committee. But this is how powerful these people are when it comes down to the real insurrectionists. To be able to put together that committee, suppress all of that video evidence that they did, bring in all of these fake people to get up there talking about, I was so scared for my life and Donald Trump there, and then coordinate that with the media, coordinate that with the FBI, coordinate that. If Trump was the dictator, this would have never happened. That right there, to coordinate all of this, that right there shows me that those are the real insurrectionists. But it didn't just stop after J6 though. So let's finish hearing this operative.
To the
oh, listen to her. Here come another dummy.
That this should be, the voters should have the say and not the courts.
The voters should have the say, but not the courts. Now, ready for this dumbness? Watch this lady right here on MSNBC talking to Beaker and Mika try to distort the narrative so badly. Whoa. Well, I'll be darned. Huh. Well, I forgot to turn my ringer off, guys. Well, let me see here. And this might be an important call. That's the funny part. But unfortunately, I can't take it because I'm in the middle of doing a show. So now, let's get back to this lady who's about to contort this narrative so badly. It's almost amazing that after this this little segment right here, she even is going to be brought back on the show. Here we go.
Why are you standing with Confederates who betrayed this country?
What? Confederates who betrayed the country. So we're going back in time. Oh, okay, good. So since she wants to go back in time and bring up Confederates who betrayed this country and all of that, then I guess it's safe to say that we can also talk about those Confederates that did it. Why are you standing with the Democrat Party? Because they were the Confederates. Yeah, there you go. Who betrayed the country, who were responsible for slavery, and you're standing with them. See, I don't understand. But now all of a sudden, you want to throw yourself and the Democrats, I guess, in the category of the Union? Okay, let's continue.
And this is what they're standing with, is the spirit of those Confederates rather than the...
You see her? She went metaphoric. She trying to go back. This is what they're standing with. The spirit, bringing in the channeling of the internalization of the Confederate, where they are doppelganging. Do you hear this reach? Yeah, thank you. Reach, girl, reach. She is reaching.
The Americans who came together after a long and brutal civil war
what they
that
got
was
to do with
fought
this?
to keep the Union together and saw...
Against who? Against who? That's my question. Who's it fought against? Your party. See, she's talking about Confederates, and she don't want to break that down into Democrats versus Republicans, do she? Yeah. Go ahead, flip. Put that other title on those Confederates. Democrat Party. But let's continue, because now she's giving us a history lesson.
Clearly saw a threat in ex-Confederates running for office, so much so that they amended the Constitution to prevent those traitors from running for office.
Those traitors from running for office. Now, I'm sure in their mind they weren't traitors when the Civil War broke out. They probably were like, no, we're not traitors. We're actually defending our rights here. Down here, the Democrats, they thought that they was legit. If they'd have won, history would have been written differently. They would have viewed the Union as traitors. They betrayed the country, this and that. And I wonder if that would have happened, would she still be out there defending the Democrat Party? I mean, who knows? Slavery might still exist if the Democrats would have won. Who knows? Yeah, that party that she supports and gets out there, do you think she would have been spared just because she's fair-colored? back then. Yeah, she might have had a cushion job inside the house, but she'd have still been a slave. But now here she's talking to us about the Confederates and the traitors of the country. Why would you stand with them? Yeah.
That should send a message that our election system, our electoral system, can be used for nefarious purposes.
Like it's being used right now for nefarious purposes.
The democracy itself.
To subvert democracy itself. The gonads of these people to get up there. I got to give them credit. They know it sounds stupid, but they get up there and they're like, you know what, I'm going for it. I'm going to go ahead and try to convince these people that somehow something that took place during the Civil War is applicable to Donald Trump, even though that wasn't written for the president at the time. And nobody has ever been charged with this, or, you know, this has never been used before. But I'm going to try to channel this one amendment or whatever that took the 14th Amendment back. I'm going to try to channel it and make it applicable to today. And now all of those who see through my bullcrap, I'm going to go ahead and try to attack their character and say, well, you know what, you guys are supporting this, and you're supporting the insurrectionists and hanging out with the Confederates and stuff.
It's clear. It's clear as day.
Wow. That's unreal. So she said it's clear as day. Clear as day. Y'all think it's clear as day? I don't. Yeah. Apparently all them other courts that sitting there, man, we're not touching this. This is crazy. They don't think it's clear as day. Yeah. Something that has never been done in the United States history. She's trying to tell us it's clear as day. Clear as day. It's just like, obviously murder charges are clear when you find somebody standing over a body with a smoking gun and they done fired some shots and it's all on video. That's clear as day. And it's the same as this very obscure amendment that has never been used before. It was only applicable during that time and doesn't even fit this scenario. And Trump has not been charged with insurrection. All of that mess right there is clear as day. I can't even see through the surface of this right here. And she's talking about it's clear as day. Everything they're trying to charge Trump with, the problem with these charges is none of them are clear. That goes to show that they have to contort and manipulate all of these things to try to make it seem like these are legitimate charges, indictments, prosecutions. It should be clear as day, but that's why people don't trust it, because it's not. People are saying, wait, Trump did what again with some documents? How does that, he said he's allowed to take them. He's not allowed to take them, but he is allowed to take them. All right, wait. So the presidents can take them, but they're saying Trump can't take them. Oh, wait, didn't Joe Biden take some too? But they're saying he could take them because he worked with the DOJ to get them back, but Trump did. You know what? This is not making sense. Wait, you're saying Trump has never been brought up on anything in regards to his businesses and all of that stuff, but now all of a sudden a prosecutor from New York who, before she got in office, was saying, I'm going to get Trump to be a pain in his butt, dig into his finances, all of that stuff. Now you're saying that for some reason she took it upon herself without no predicate. Nobody complained to her. Nobody filed charges. Nobody said Trump railroaded us. Without nobody even complaining, no victim, she just decides, I think it's important for me to look into Trump's finances because he probably, overestimated some of his properties and stuff like that. And yet, somehow, Trump's businesses should be shut down and he should be tied up in court. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me get this straight. What is Fat Albert doing again? What's his role in this? I don't know. He's going after him for something again. And Jack Smith is saying Trump did he say inspired the insurrection? What is an insurrection again? What is it? This is what the average person is looking at. And they're saying, okay, you send me to traffic court, sir. You were clocked doing 85 miles per hour and a 25. Is that you on camera? Yeah. Okay. Well, what do you have to plead? No content. Okay, we find you guilty. All the evidence is there. Everybody can go, well, there you have it. That guy right there was speeding. The law says this, he broke it. We have an expectation of why people should be tried for certain things. But now comes to Trump, and that expectation is completely subverted. There you go. Subverted. All of a sudden, we got all these obscure applications of the amendment and all of these things dating back to the Civil War and all of this stuff and they wonder why we all are going, We're giving them the eyebrow. So what do you think the effects of this is going to be? Most likely the reverse. So let's go ahead and explore the reverse effects.
And for more on the political impact, we're joined now by pollster and communication strategist Frank Luntz, who has been getting the pulse of Trump voters for years. So the obvious first question, Frank, what do you think the impact of this ruling
what's going to be, Frank?
On their support for him?
It's going to be exactly what the indictments did. It's going to be exactly what the criticisms have done. Donald Trump thrives on negativity. He thrives.
Dun, 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 dun. Fake news don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me if I was angry. Democrats don't make me angry. All of these groups, lower level court justices, don't make me angry. Intel community, don't make me angry. But hey, it's cool. Keep doing it. Because every time y'all attack this man, the stronger he gets. I want him to come into office at the most strongest the Hawk can get. Supernova Hawk or whatever. The cartoon nerds, they know all of that. This is the World Breaker Hawk. He was the strongest one in Volume 6, Episode 3, where he was, I want that type of Hawk. I want a Hawk that only the nerds would know about. Well, actually, the strongest Hawk was the one that was featured in the 1982 version of the... Yeah, that one. Give me that one. I want that type of Trump. Bring him in, completely furious, where he can pick up worlds and throw them. I want him as mad as he can be and unleash havoc on all of these corrupt agencies, entities, anybody who he can legally go after. Get him. Y'all done made him so mad, made me mad too. So let's continue, because this guy's saying it's going to backfire. And he's no Trump lover.
On legal systems that try to hold him accountable. And I'm convinced that his polling numbers are going to go up. Just today, the New York Times published 6 key swing states and had Donald Trump up beyond the margin of error in 5 out of the 6. The polling earlier, a month ago, was significant. Trump is gaining. The more that he is prosecuted, the more that he is condemned, the higher his numbers go as people rally around him. And I would say to the judges, as I said to the Justice Department, you're actually making it more likely that Donald Trump is elected next November by how you are pursuing this.
Dun, 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 dun. Roar. That's right. Go ahead. Punch him again. Go ahead. Don't learn from the past. I mean, the man is Teflon. Stuff sliding all off of him. Y'all sitting back talking, what's going to do the trick? This mugshot. Let's bring him in and put a mugshot up of him. I'm sure once the public sees the former president / president candidate's mugshot, they're going to say, well, obviously, I can't vote for this man. He's a criminal. Look at that. He has a mugshot. No reason to vote for Don. What? It backfired? Now they're using the mugshot for their glory? Now they're all putting mugshots on their T-shirts and changing their profiles to have his face on there? Now the black folks in the hood is starting to come out and support them. Well, that didn't work. Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and do something else. Let's go ahead and have Tishy / Queen Latifah go ahead and prosecute him for his business. What? He's getting stronger? You know what? This one will definitely work. Let's get some whacked behind Supreme Court justices to remove him from the ballot for a crime that he didn't commit. I'm sure that'll do the trick. They're not learning. They're not smart.
You don't explain the decisions. You don't put things in context. And so Trump climbs and climbs and climbs. And right now, he's beating Joe Biden clearly nationwide.
Well, that was the hardcore, dyed-in-the-wool, never-Trumper Frank Luntz admitting that as of last night, Trump has basically won 2024.
Frank Luntz. So, that was him. And Dr. Twirly is about to give us a wonderful assessment and breakdown of what he sees happening here, what's going on. Wonderful revelation here. Let's go ahead and see some of the reactions of the people on X and around the country in regards to this fascinating, unprecedented news.
In a landslide. Even Elon Musk is saying it. These actions will have the opposite effect of what was intended. Translation, Trump just won.
Wow. So let me get this straight. You punch a bear, and the bear looks at you, and you're like, uh-oh. There you go. Yeah, you punched the hawk, and he turned around like, who hit me? You're like, uh-oh. See, I once saw that. There was this guy who was a real tough dude around the neighborhood. Everybody knew of him. They all, man, don't mess with that dude. One of them dudes, it was a family of them, actually. They all fought, all three brothers, known for fighting all the time. But one of them had this rock head. I mean, this dude, somebody just set his head right on top of his shoulders, and he was known for scrapping. I mean, just built low to the ground for traction, swole up wide. In the middle of a basketball game, I guess they got into a little verbal confrontation. And when he turned his back, some dude decided, I'm about to sneak him. I'm going to take this 40-ounce bottle and smash it on the back of his head. Walked up to him, and that dude turned around and said, who hit me? You know you're in trouble. You know you're in trouble. You're like, oh, crap. I just gave him my best shot. I mashed his head with this bottle, and all he did was turn around and say, who hit me? I'm in trouble. I'm the only one standing there with 40-ounce juice all on my hands. Going, there's somebody else besides me with the 40-ounce juice on my hands. That guy got his butt whooped. There you go. So that's what they're doing. They're hitting Trump, and he's turning around going, who hit me? They're not getting it.
2024. Little did these feckless judges on the Colorado Supreme Court realize that they just gave the MAGA movement our best Christmas gift yet. Trump hasn't even been found guilty anywhere of anything even remotely comparable to what these four justices unilaterally convicted him of.
Now, when you read it out loud like that, Jesse, it shows just how corrupt these judges are. So let me understand. Trump finds the Supreme Court, Colorado Supreme Court, finds Trump guilty of a crime he hasn't been charged with. Never been charged with it. Primetime has everything you needed to know about Trump's reaction. Yeah, of course. So he's never been charged. He's never been convicted of it. But we're going to go ahead and make one of the biggest decisions that will impact voters across the whole state of Colorado. We're going to make these choices for you guys. And not even stop to think that this might tick off a whole bunch of people. Not to stop and think that this is going to look very obvious that we are out there trying to stop this man who has not even been tried, charged, or anything with insurrection. But we're going to make this choice, this major choice. We're going to take the choice out of the hands of the people, and we're going to make this choice. Now, if I was a Coloradoan, I would be saying to myself, you know what? Just because of this, I'm voting for Trump. Because it got to be something about him for these judges to take such an amazing, monumental stance on this right here. That right there. Something about this guy has caused them to do something that has never been done in our country. So that means Trump is either really that dangerous to our country to where they're willing to risk their reputation, their career, all of that stuff, and take away the will of the people. Either Trump's that dangerous to the country or Trump's that dangerous to them. Now, which one do you think it is? You think that these judges and all of these people trying to stop Trump is doing it so they can protect us? If you believe that, I got all kind of stuff I want to sell you. All kind. Okay, so here we go.
Without a shred of due process.
None. They don't need that stuff because they're protecting our democracy.
Any ultimate takeaway from this jumping of the shark last night
was what?
It's that last night was not a decision. Last night was an admission. It was not a ruling. It was a revelation.
Wait a minute. Where you going with this, Doc? This better be deep, man. Break this down to me and tell me what you mean, man. Lay it on me. Yeah, I feel like I'm in the 70s. Lay it on me, man. I want you to lay something heavy down on me, Ben. Yes, bring it on me. Give me some 5 on the black side. That's right, man. So here it is.
It was not a court order. It was a confession. One word ultimately describes what this corrupt Colorado
Give it to me.
Supreme Court.
Now, don't give me a Joe Biden word. Offended. Yeah, don't give me that. One word describes America as offended. Give me that one word.
Did last night. And that one word is desperation. What happened last night was an overt, explicit, and utterly humiliating admission that our ruling elite have been completely defeated in the court of public opinion.
Now that is true. Wow. Desperation. See, because when you look at human behavior or just animals, anything, there's that moment where you say, I have no other choice. Certain decisions are made based on lack of options. I am completely out of options. This decision is a bonsai moment. This is one of those, I got to do what I got to do and try to blow up everything. I got to throw my gun because I've wasted all my bullets. Desperation. Animals don't chew their foot off if they can feel they can get the foot out of the trap. Squirrels don't decide to fight unless they're backed up into a corner. They would choose to run. I've seen animals do things out of desperation that I say, that right there was the last possible choice that they could make. It shows how dangerous the situation is to them. Certain decisions you go, man, this ain't worth me doing this right about now. We still got options. But if you are out of options and you say, we done wasted every option, we done tried everything right about now, do it. Do it. This is our last option. Desperation. Break this mess down a little more.
Our ruling elite know they have been completely defeated in the court of public opinion.
Oh.
And our ruling elite have come to realize that precisely because they have been defeated in the court of public opinion, the only way they are ever going to be able to stop Trump is if they, the ruling class, intentionally interfere in the democratic integrity of this election.
Now that's deep. That's deep, Doc. Yeah. So let me understand this. They're realizing that they cannot leave it up to the people. The people no longer believes them. This is no longer a situation where, okay, they're falling for our manipulation and our tricks and all of our psych ops and all of that stuff. We still have pretty much the influence of the media and social media that we still got. They're beyond that. Yeah. So what they're going to do is say, since we can no longer trust the people and we've lost the sentiment of the people, we're not even going to stop for 1 second to consider the will of the people. We're going to remove that from them and put it all on us raggedy, however many, 4, I guess, Supreme Court justices, whoever made this decision. We're going to put all of that burden on us. We're going to go ahead and save you people, even though the people have spoken based on the polls, based on Trump's support. We don't care about that stuff because really it never was about the people. It's about the power. Okay? We want y'all to believe that y'all got the power. So we give you the false sense of power. And when y'all wake up and realize, wait, we do have the power. These people been making us think we have the power, but they have been actually, controlling everything. And now that we're aware that we don't have the power, but we do have the power, if you get that. So we realize that we think we have the power, but they have been controlling everything. Now, all of a sudden, people wake up and say, we don't have the power, but actually we do have the power. I know that sounds deep, but we do have the power. Once we come to that revelation and these people realize we've come to that revelation, they're going, uh-oh. The people have woken up and realized we've been tricking them, making them think they got the power, making them think they've been walking on their own. But really, we're up there going, that's it. Take another step, sweetie. Like little babies. Making them think that they're swimming for miles and miles in the ocean, but they're really in a fishbowl. And we're all sitting there watching them swim around. Look at them. They think they're making progress. That's hilarious. And you know what? Hey, let's put some little castles down there, change up the scenery and make them think, look at that. You're doing stuff. You got a castle now. Not realizing you're just swimming around a little fishbowl in a tank. So now that they've woken up, what do we got to do? We cannot let these people make the decision. Now we got to reveal to them that it was us who controlled everything all along. By removing their choice, by stripping them of their power. And the people are not going to stand for it. The people are upset. But that's something you do when you're desperate. That's one of them decisions you do when you say, okay, the jig is up. We've been spotted. They all know that we are behind the curtain. So at this point, guys, why have all this power we've been storing up all of this time if we don't use it in an application like this? This is that moment where we got to use all the power we've been storing up. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and say that Trump cannot run because he participated in an insurrection that he wasn't charged with or accused of. There you go. But yet power to the people. Yet we're protecting our democracy. All of this stuff. Yeah. So he has a point. Let's finish hearing from the doc.
That is what you saw come out of Colorado last week. It was a humiliating admission that they realized they have been utterly and totally defeated. Wow. Just think about what kind of admission this is. What? Let it hit you. The Colorado Supreme Court admitted,
another revelation?
Openly admitted the only way Donald Trump does not get elected the 47th president of these United States is if they deliberately prevent anyone from voting for him.
Wow. Now I'm getting more revelations from this doc because, see, it's not what you see, but it's what you don't see. Sometimes you got to step back and say, okay, what are they saying by not saying this? But instead doing this. What are they showing us passively that they might not even be realizing that they're showing us? They're showing us, number one, that they're desperate. Number two, they're weak and wounded and scared of Trump for them to do something this drastic. Number three, that they are corrupt and evil enough to do this, and they're not really the people who are fighting to maintain our democracy, our republic, our laws, our institutions. But by doing this, indirectly what they're showing and revealing to everybody is that we are the real insurrectionists. We are the real fascists. We are the ones that are willing to do something this foul to stop this man that we're claiming is the actual threat to our democracy. By removing the choice from all of you, by subverting our democracy. We are exposing ourselves indirectly. And what else are they doing, Doc?
In other words, they're admitting that if he's on the ballot, game over. He wins.
And they're also admitting that Trump has broken past all of their roadblocks, all of their barriers. By them doing this, they're letting us also know that, man, we can't stop this dude. For us to break this out, then we in trouble. This guy right here is smashing faces. He's getting stronger. Yeah, we can lie to the people all we want. Trump's not popular. Trump's this and that. Trump's not, you know what, he can't win there. But we're out of options. We know we're bluffing. We have no spades in our hands, but we're trying to bid a 10 hand. I think we could go 10. Oh boy. Okay, all I got is face cards and low numbers. But I'm going to go ahead and bid the 10. Try to confuse the other bidders like, wow, if I got 8 in my hand and my partner said he got 2, maybe I'm not seeing, do they really got, maybe they got 10. I don't know. I better not go ahead and bid my hand correctly. No, you're not going to bluff me. I know what I got in my hand. We all see the polls. We all see the momentum building with Trump, and they see it too. So they've been bluffing us this whole time, bluffing us. And now they're at the point where like, I can't even bluff no more. Can't even bluff because Trump's about to run the table on us. So let's renege.
He wins. Moreover, not only is this an open admission that they're not going to be able to pull off another 2020.
Don't do it,
tacit admission. They're not going to be able to pull off another 2020. They're not only tacitly admitting that, they're also tacitly admitting that 2020 was indeed a rigged election.
Now that's deep. So what are they doing as well? They're showing us that 2020 was rigged as well. For them to coordinate and shut down any dissent after the 2020 election, go after all of the people who disagree with the election, use all of their powerful resources to silence, suppress people, to prosecute people, all of that mess. They use all of their gaslighting through the media to make people think that I can't even get online and talk about the stuff I obviously saw. I can't get back and use all of the people's testimonies under oath that they witnessed cheating during this election because, see, the YouTube would shut me down. I can't talk about this stuff. They used all of that mess to make it appear that Trump's view of what took place in 2020, along with us, were crazy right-wing conspiracy theorists. It was subverting our institutions and our democracies and all of this. They use all of that. Now, if they're willing to do all of this now, this shows us that they were willing and powerful enough to do it during 2020. That's what it shows us. This right here is just proving that these people are willing to do anything they can to stop Trump. They did everything they could to stop him in 2020, and they're doing it again. And now we can look back on 2020 and say, wow, if they're willing to do all of this now, surely everything that I witnessed during 2020 that they did, it now all makes sense. You can't tell me that, no, we didn't do anything back then. It was the most upstanding, legitimate voting process that ever took place. The machines were perfect. There was no obscurities. There was no whatever. And all the courts looked at it. All the courts looked at it and said that there was nothing there and this and that. You mean like the court that just looked at this right here and made a decision to remove Trump from the ballot? You mean the courts that are dragging Trump into court constantly with these raggedy prosecutors and all of that? You mean like that? So this right here shows us who the elites are, who the powerful people are that has been pulling these strings. Isn't it odd that right after 2020, that elections became just, fail-proof? All of a sudden, all those years of complaining about these elections are rigged, Republicans are winning, and that's obvious. This is right here is that all of a sudden, mum was the word, shut your mouths. After we cheat, win, and do all of this stuff, now all of a sudden what we're going to do is just completely shut all that down. Now everything is airtight. Everything's perfect. Don't look into it. We don't want you snooping around. We don't want you suspicious of all of this stuff. They use all of their powerful resources to shut down dissent and to cover up the crime. But now what they're doing is bringing back the same actors to commit the same crime, which solidifies the fact that they committed the crime in 2020. You can't pull something like that off if you're not powerful and don't have any connections to all coordinate this stuff. So they did it then, now they're doing it again.
The fact that the ruling establishment is willing to stoop to such lengths to interfere in the 2024 election is a tacit admission of the lengths they went to rig the 2020 election.
Yep. So now they went that far in 2020, but yet they had the media covering it up. But now look how far they're going now. And we're supposed to think they would have never done that in 2020 because, a zebra never changes its stripes and a leopard never changes its spots and all of that stuff. That's true. That's why if they're willing to do all of this and going into 2024, you think that they wouldn't have done that in 2020? Yeah, the same people who are willing to bring all these false charges against Trump, talk about how they're going to get Trump out of office and he's an illegitimate president and we impeached him twice for nothing and he's a Russian agent and all of this stuff. Those same people, now we think they just grew integrity all of a sudden after Trump was removed from office. Now all of a sudden we think they're not behind trying to stop him again, not trying to interfere with this upcoming election. We're supposed to believe that? Yeah, during that time, they were completely innocent, did nothing wrong. Yeah, Trump just legitimately lost. I don't know what Trump's talking about. He's complaining. But now they're starting to recycle their evilness, and it's on display. So I'm going, well, if you're evil now, you probably was evil then. Y'all recognize the danger of Trump in 2020. You also recognize the danger of Trump coming up in 2024. And now you're back to recycle your evilness. So, yeah, now it's making me really feel like, oh, yeah, they fixed that last one. Because they're trying to fix this one, too. Here we go.
But now they're openly admitting they don't believe they're going to be able to pull off the same thing in 2024 as they did in 2020. They're not going to be able to scoop this current incontinent and chief back into the Oval Office, back into his nap corner.
Because he's
through
done.
The same shenanigans they employed last time. They're openly recognizing that if they do not figure out a way of going so far as to actually prevent you from voting for Trump, he is going to win this election in an absolute blowout.
There's the admission right there. Guys, we can't leave it up to the people. We're going to have to strip them of their voting rights. Now, you want to talk about voter suppression? I don't want to hear another Democrat talk about that. This is our voter suppression. It's obviously that the Republicans are trying to disenfranchise like they're doing with RFK and all of them, that they, we don't even want y'all to be able to campaign in our states and all of that stupid stuff. We don't want a primary, all of that. But these people right here. So they're admitting that, the people are the problem. That's the problem. The people are the problem. But we're trying to convince them that no, Trump's the problem and we're trying to protect you from the problem. While really trying to protect themselves from the problem they created. Okay, so here we go.
That is what you saw coming out of Colorado.
True.
Do not lose sight of that.
Y'all hear that?
Moreover, it is a stunning admission that as far as our ruling class are concerned, if they let this election play out fair and square, their world will collapse.
There it is. So by doing this, they're admitting also that if we don't do this, if we don't do something that has never been done before, if we don't do something that obviously is going to tick off everybody around the country and going to make us look obviously partisan, politicized, if we don't do this, Trump's going to win. So when people start questioning, well, is Trump really that far along in the polls? I mean, do you think Trump's really going to win it? Yes. For them to do something like this, yes. They're admitting this indirectly by doing something this drastic. They're chewing off their own foot. Is that bear really in trouble? Didn't you just see that bear chew off its own paw? You think he would do that normally if he felt he could just keep wiggling it out? That was the last option. So now they're chewing off their own paw.
They really honestly believe that a Trump 2.0, not a DeSantis 1.0, certainly not a Nikki Haley 1.0.
No, definitely not that.
A Trump 2.0 is the single greatest existential threat to their power and affluence they have ever faced.
And how, Doc? That's what it comes down to. We're admitting to you guys that this man is a danger. That's why I'm rolling with Trump. That's why millions and millions of people are rolling with Trump, because they're going, hey, I'm going to stick with the guy that the small group of elitists, the small group of 10%ers who think they control the whole country and think they got all the power, hate and want to destroy. I'm going to stick with that guy who's up here talking about America first and all of that stuff. The guy who showed results unlike any other president in my lifetime. I'm sticking with that guy. And the elites can't have that. So now they got to chew their own foot off. But guys, you know what? I got to admit, this might bring out and expose the rhinos. Vivek did something that was powerful, y'all. Regardless how you might feel about Vivek, this right here was powerful. And it puts the pressure on some of the other candidates to see just where they stand. Let's hear what he said he's going to do.
They have just tried to bar President Trump from the Colorado ballot using an unconstitutional maneuver that is a bastardization of the 14th Amendment to our U.S. Constitution.
Okay.
This was a provision, Section 3, that was designed to bar Confederate members, people who switched to the Confederacy, from actually being able to serve. That's very different than what's at issue here, to say the least. This is a hollowed out husk of what the country was built on. The basic principle that we, the people, select our leadership, not the unelected elite class in the back of palace halls. That's old world Europe, not the United States.
Wow. Now, I bet you this is why they don't like Vivek. Because he's unwilling at this point to badmouth Trump. He's unwilling to take advantage of all of these hit pieces that they put out on Trump. Unwilling to take advantage on all of these subversions of the Constitution, violations of Trump's rights. He's unwilling to capitalize on that like a lot of the other Republicans are willing to do. They can't stand him. Plus, he's smart enough to know the law. He's smart enough to know exactly what they're doing. He's one step ahead of them. And so to them, they're going, this dude. And then what he does is he sends a message to all of us that regardless of how you feel, politically, how you're going to run the country if you're president or whatever, what you're not going to do is overlook obvious corruption and violations of our Constitution. You're not going to say, even though I know I wouldn't want this done to me as a Republican candidate or president or anything, I'm going to give it a pass just because it's being done to Trump and I think I could benefit off of it. I'm going to wink at it. I'm going to go ahead and give the nod. I'm going to give it the point and the click. I'm going to do that. Then after Trump's gone, I'm going to grow my integrity back all of a sudden. It doesn't work like that. So what he's doing is saying, look, if I wanted to be a sellout, this will be a great opportunity to do it. Yeah, what easier way to beat Trump than to just simply have him removed from the ballots? Now, this is what the Democrats will love. They like those type of victories. They don't want to go toe to toe. They don't want to get in and bang. Yeah, they want it to be rigged. So Vivek comes out, not only does he call it out, but he talks about why it's foul, and then he does something else that's going to put the pressure on any of those other folks running against Trump.
That's why I'm making a pledge today that I will withdraw. I pledge to withdraw from the Colorado GOP primary ballot unless and until Trump's name is restored.
What?
And I demand that Ron DeSantis and Chris Christie and Nikki Haley do the same thing.
Well, I'm sure they're going to rush right into that. I'm sure they're going to do that immediately. Now, Chris Christie put out some raggedy statement about it or something like that. I don't know. I haven't heard from the others. But this right here is powerful. He's telling them to put up or shut up. Look what I'm willing to do right here. Okay, because this is greater than me winning Colorado or whatever. If they're not going to participate in our republic fairly, then I don't want to be a part of it. Let's exclude them. Now, if any of the other Republicans that are running against Trump had any sense, they would not take this as an opportunity to capitalize on it. They should do what Vivek is doing. And he's putting the pressure on them to do it. Wonderful decision right here. This was very strategic.
Or else these Republicans are simply complicit in this unconstitutional attack on the way we conduct our constitutional republic. I refuse to be complicit in that. I think what they're doing is wrong. And I think it's up to Republicans to step up and stand up with a spine for our country's future. That's really what's at stake. Whether we, the people, actually have a say in deciding who leads this country.
Wow. Now, I see people in the comments, some people say, look, Vivek looks and sounds good, but I got a bad feeling about him. I get it. I mean, in this day and era, the only proven politician that I am 100% sure is not going to throw us under the bus, sell us out, none of that, is Trump. That's the only one. That's why I'm rolling with Trump. With Vivek, all we can do is go off of what he's saying and what he's currently doing. That's it. We evaluate his behavior as he goes. And if he starts showing sign of rhinoism, deception, then you call it out. Then you react to it. And hopefully, if any candidate starts showing those signs, we don't find out too late and react too late. Hopefully, we can start sniffing a lot of that out early enough. So far, he hasn't done anything to make me go, I don't know. Now granted, there's a lot of people who can get out there and say the right thing, who can, if you're smart and you got your ear to the street, you know the hearts of the people. You know how Trump supporters feel. You know how MAGA supporters feel. And you could go ahead and adjust your views, your opinions, your statements to how they think. But you then have to live it. You have to back it up. Because once we sniff rhino on somebody, you're done. See, that's all it takes is one glitch, one slip up for us to go, you smell that? I smell some rhino. I smell some rhino, and you're done. So he has to walk a very tight line if he's deceiving us right about now. Because, we're looking. He done already got thrusted up to the limelight based on how he's been lighting up all of these dang on fake news networks and all of that stuff and Nikki Haley. So the eyes are on him. And anything that he says that might make us go, I don't know, that seems suspicious, we're definitely going to check that out. Until I catch it, though, all I can do is go off of what he's saying and what he's doing currently. So, yeah, you take your Lindsey Grahams, they're done. Mitch McConnell's done. Liz Cheney's done. All of them. It's Bill Barr done. Any of the ones that we might have at one point said, you know what, I kind of like what he said right there. What he did, done. So he knows that, hey, if I'm going to still have the support of the people, I can't get out there and do things that other rhinos would do. So if he is deceiving us, then he's an amazing deceiver. And I do not put my trust in any man, period, okay? Because the Antichrist, if you're a Christian, he will be a great talker and he will be a great deceiver, okay? I look at certain things that make me say, okay, who is supporting this man? If I see the fake news and the globalists and the elitists all circling and attacking him and trying to stop him and belittle him and undermine him, then that makes me feel a little more comfortable in saying, okay, maybe this guy might be legit because he's a threat to what's going on. He's a threat to the powerful. When the powerful starts to say, we like this guy, we support this guy, all of that, then I start going, I got questions. I got questions about you. So until that happens right now, I think, he's pretty legit. But what he's saying right here is definitely legit.
Yes, it would be easier for other Republicans like me who are running in this race to say, hey, if Trump is sidelined, there's our opportunity. No doubt other candidates are probably privately celebrating with their corporate sponsors.
Yeah, I bet you they
That's
are.
not the right thing to do. I think the most useful thing that every GOP candidate can do right now is to join me in that pledge. I'll say that I will withdraw from that Colorado GOP primary ballot until Trump's name is restored.
Wow.
This belongs to the people, not to the unelected Democratic cabal of judges in Colorado or any other state. And I demand that Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley and Chris Christie do the same thing, or else they're complicit in what the security state is trying to do to shut down Trump. I stand by that, and I expect them to do the right thing.
Well, we're going to see. We're going to see. That was a great call. I want to see. Now, it might not even come down to that, because we know the Supreme Court most likely is going to squash this. And, even these judges that made this decision are not confident in their own decision. They're sitting back going, we're going to go ahead and have a stay to see what the Supreme Court's going to say about it, which you know what the Supreme Court's going to do. If, if history, has any weigh in on it, then they'll probably make the right decision as of now. But we shall see. But what I don't think is going to happen is Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis and Chris Christie and all of them are going to rush in to defend Trump in a way that really leaves an impact. They might put out a statement, our elections are important and we feel that everybody has the right to, but to make a definitive choice, like, okay, it's bigger than just me. Y'all are attacking our institutions. You're attacking the Republican Party. You're attacking, you're undermining the people. You're destroying the integrity of elections, but you're always talking about election integrity, and you're always talking about, you don't want to disenfranchise voters while you're doing it. And we need to make a clear statement that we do not stand with you guys. If your state's going to roll like this, we want nothing to do with you until y'all pull this mess together. That right there would definitely let them know that, wow, maybe we went a little too far. But I don't think it's going to go to that point. And speaking of rhinos, y'all, before we get out of here, check this out right here.
A section, a quote from your book, Oath and Honor. Today, none of us can tell if the story of January 6th is nearing its end or is only just beginning. We may have darker chapters ahead. Trump has told us that he thinks the Constitution can and should be suspended when necessary, that what happened on January 6th was justified, that in a second Trump president...
Now, who do you think this is coming out of? Who would have put this in their book? Trump said the Constitution should be suspended when it's necessary. Trump said that the J6 thing was justified. Trump said that who do you think is responsible for that writing right there? There it is. Yeah, Lizard Cheney. That chick. This is a shite book right here. Filled with nothing but shite. So here is one of the people that was on that J6 committee, y'all. The legitimate committee put together by Nancy Pelosi. Here we go, y'all. DEFCON 5, y'all. She's like, all right, I got to pull out everything here. So let's see what she says to Brett about this.
He would seek retribution and much more. He knows judicial rulings have force only if the executive branch enforces them. So he won't.
Okay.
You're fearful of a second Trump presidency.
I am. I think that, we know what he will do. He's already done it. We saw what he did after the 2020 election.
Well, what did he do? We know that what he will do, he's already done it. You mean like make our economy better, strengthen our military, secure our border, bring back businesses? You mean like that? Stabilize the Middle East? You mean things like that? That's what we know he'll do. See? But she just straight comes out, we know what he'll do. He's already done it. Did what? What did he do? Lizard, Cheney. He went and got on that helicopter and flew off. Oh, you mean when he got up there and told those people to go over there and let your voices peacefully be heard? That's what he did? And Brett here doesn't even ask her. Stop. I'm sorry. Tell me again, what did he do? Because you just said we already knows what he'll do. He's already done it.
Obviously, what he did to try to seize power in
What did he do to try to seize power, Liz? Shanique? Oh, let's see. Okay, let me see. Let me go through a process here to dispute the results of the election without doing anything abnormal, no different than what the Democrats do every single election. Let me go ahead and have the people come up so they can have a rally and then walk over and let their voices peacefully be heard. And then when they go ahead and override all of that, then let me go ahead and get on Marine One and fly off and prep for another run in 4 years. You mean like that? See, this is when you simplify this garbage. You're going, what the heck is she talking about? She's just straight up saying stuff.
2020, and of course on January 6th. And he tells us every day. And if you look at the steps that he would have to take in terms of simply refusing to enforce court orders or comply with court orders with which he disagrees, putting people in key positions as Attorney General, for example, or as head of OLC.
Refusing to comply with court orders like Joe Biden all the time with his executive decisions. Forget that. Forget the court said. We're going to go ahead and do this. Putting people in place who will, people who won't betray him. Just like Joe Biden put people in place who will open up our border, put people in place that will sexualize our kids, put people in place that will allow the Department of Justice to give Hunter a pass, give himself a pass, and then weaponize the DOJ to go after Trump and all of his supporters? You mean like that? What are you talking about? Now here she is trying to say Trump's an existential threat and he's a danger to democracy and stuff like that, and we got to stop him. So I guess she's okay with these judges' decisions, right? But yet she's not able to see that the people who she claims needs to be stopped, like Trump and all of that, are actually the people who's doing it right now, but she never talks about them.
Unethical lawyers who would help him, frankly, blow through many of the guardrails of our Constitution.
Unethical lawyers. Trump's going to put unethical lawyer. You mean like, let me see, Alvin Bragg, Fat Albert? How about Fat Fanny? How about Queen Latifah? I'm going to be a pain in his butt. Oh yeah, I'm going to sue him for you. Hey, what about Jack in the Box? Unethical lawyers. Do you understand how disgusting this woman is? I hope she sells negative books. So she's a part of that last desperate effort to stop Trump. This right here is a prototype of a rhino. She's a perfect rhino. They love her. So let's continue.
I think it's a very real concern that he would take steps very quickly that would unravel the rule of law.
This is the Wall Street Journal. This is not a MAGA, op-ed here.
What's this?
They say Trump as dictator is a classic case of projection. Abuse executive power, ignore the law, run roughshod over individual liberties, retaliate against political opponents. Mr. Biden and his allies have done exactly what they warned Mr. Trump will do if he returns to the White House. Unlike Mr. Biden, however, Mr. Trump would have to contend with a hostile media and a federal bureaucracy that would be throwing pots, pans, and candlesticks at him at every step.
Oh my. Now Liz Cheney probably wasn't expecting that right there, considering Fox is sold out as well. But Brett decides to read from the Wall Street Journal that, hey, all the stuff that we just heard come out of your fat, stinking rhino horn, the Biden administration is guilty of. This is all projection, Liz Cheney. And yet you're not even criticizing them. You're not able to see everything you're accusing Trump of in the very people that is in power right now, including yourself. You're in the same crew with them. You're trying to protect them and yourself, honestly, your own self-interest. But he reads this and he says, but here's the difference. This is projection, but if Trump was to do exactly what they're doing, he wouldn't have an escort by the media. He wouldn't be sitting back having them clear the path. Here comes the insurrectionist. Here comes the dictator. Everybody out of the way. He wouldn't have the escort by the media. He wouldn't have, they would throw everything at him like they're doing now before he even gets back in office. And he ain't even done nothing. But they're throwing everything at him. Pots, pans, silverware, plastic, everything at him. But here she is. She's not able to see that, though. She's not able to see that. So now remember, if Trump's the dictator, nobody throws anything in the way of the dictator. If Trump is the one that's going to go ahead and co-opt all of these agencies and institutions to do his bidding, then he should have smooth sailing, man. Right now, he shouldn't be taken off the ballot in Dayton, Colorado. No. He shouldn't be up on 4 indictments right about now. No, obvious politically motivated indictments, I add. He shouldn't be dealing with 2 impeachments. He shouldn't be dealing with the FBI and the CIA and all of them putting up information and leaking stuff and all of that. He should have to deal with that mess. He should have those on lockdown, y'all. Lockdown. He shouldn't have had to send in a ragtag group of Trump supporters with MAGA hats and cell phones. He should have been able to go ahead and call in that National Guard. He should have been able to go ahead and plant some FBI agencies and all of these Antifa rallies and all of these Black Lives Matter rallies to label them as domestic terrorists. He should have been able to do all of that, right? He should have been able to do that and then have it backed up by the media and by, the Department of Justice to go after all of these people who had dissent against Trump during his candidacy and stuff, all the crazy people screaming up at the sky. Yeah, he should have been able to plant FBI agents in parking lots where, these liberals meet and they have their little, protest and all of that stuff. He should have had them taking down license plates and things like that. He should have had his DOJ and FBI consulting with Twitter and consulting with Facebook about everything that's going on the internet. We don't like that post, remove that. What, they're making fun of me? Take that down, okay? He should have been able to do that as the dictator they're claiming he is. But he didn't do it. Yeah, they were doing this to Trump before he even got into power and while he was in power. So who's the real dictator? That's my question. Who's the real insurrectionist when you can do that while a sitting president is in power? While you can go out there and tap his wires and listen to him, leak his phone calls and all of that while he's in power. Now, he should have had them hung. I mean, Milli Vanilli should have been taken out into the middle of a field somewhere and shot. All of that mess. Because that's what Hitler would have done. But he didn't,
Well, I think they're wrong. I think if you, again,
I know you do
look
think
at, we
they're
don't have to
wrong.
guess about what next President Trump would do because he did it before. And he would not have around him the people that were around him, the people, frankly, that the country will hear from as his trial moves forward, who were all his appointees, people that he appointed to the White House counsel's office, the Department of Justice, his own family, people that told him on January 6th, as you and I were talking that
You mean the
day,
enablers?
that he needed to tell the mob to go home.
You mean that if he wins again, he's not going to have the people around him that we planted and the people who he had to simply rely on because he's never been in office before. The ones that subverted his presidency. The ones that y'all have muscled and convinced and intimidated to come out and testify against Trump on stupid stuff. You mean like that? The people who didn't comply with you guys. Yeah, y'all went ahead and jailed them. Roger Stone. They wouldn't flip. Paul Manafort. All of those people. You mean, people like that who either y'all intimidated or they got in office and they subverted Trump's will, Trump's agenda, all of that stuff. You mean like that? You mean to tell me you're worried about him getting in there and putting people in that won't be rhinos and won't undermine what he's trying to do, his agenda? You mean like that? Yeah, you're really worried about that. Because the first time you're like, all right, he's still relying. He's still relying on a lot of people who we still got pulled with. So let's go ahead. If we could get a Christopher Wray in there, if we can get a whoever in there, then we might be okay. This time around, ain't going to happen. So let's see.
people who told him that what he was doing was illegal. Those people won't be around him.
Illegal how?
You know, the rulings
Illegal
of the
how? What
courts
is
are
he talking
fundamental to who we are as a constitutional republic. If
The rule of law is fundamental. Here comes the rhino speech. Here comes the projection. Here comes the rule of law is fundamental, and we're protecting our democracy and stuff like that. Yeah.
the president doesn't enforce those rulings, they don't have weight.
Right, but what about the point it made in this op-ed? You haven't been
It's
vocal,
not- it's
but
not
you
right.
haven't been vocal about
But it's
President
not-
Biden.
Brett, leave it alone.
Like executive
Yeah, but
orders to
it-
cancel student loan,
but I
ban
think that's a
evictions,
very different thing.
mandate COVID
Yeah, but
vaccine.
Brett,
Well, here's a
I think
list.
it's
I think it's fair. I thought Brett, I didn't expect you to go ahead and follow up and start the call. I thought we was going to let me finish what I was saying and then move on to the next topic. But now you're trying to hold me accountable and make me have to answer for why I made it my mission to fight against Trump and MAGA Republicans and try to say that they're a existential threat to our country, our democracy, our constitution, and all of that. Why have you sold out, Liz? Why aren't you able to recognize the same dictator tendencies in the current administration? But you want to go ahead and project all that on Trump.
After the SCOTUS
Are you
ruling,
going to let me answer the
yeah, I
question?
am. I mean, just let me list them. After the SCOTUS ruled against it, he still used regulatory means to write off, the student debt, wall off 1.5 million acres of land for fossil fuel. What this basically is saying is that there are things that have been done outside of the rule of federal courts that you haven't weighed in on.
Well, first of all, I don't think it's true that I haven't weighed in on those. And I think a lot of those, if you look at the kinds of things that he's done with respect, for example, to energy policy, with respect to setting aside lands across the West, I've been very vocal that I think those policies are wrong. Very different from a president. And look, you wrote a book about George Washington. The last chapter
You're
of the
here
book
trying to
is
smooth it
called
over?
The Gift of a Peaceful Transition of Power. That is what we're talking about.
Yeah, but this is not about me.
That's right, but that's a very important concept. Let me finish my answer, because every single president, Republican and Democrat, since George Washington, has ensured the peaceful transition of power.
And Trump didn't. That's what you're saying? Lizard Chinique? See, y'all hear her trying to clean this up? Yeah, now all of a sudden it's kind of been highlighted that, hey, you might be a rhino. Because you just got on here and accused Trump of all of this and not applying with the law and the decisions of the court. And here's a list of stuff Joe Biden has not complied with the court's decisions and stuff like that. Same man who forced vax mandates on people, destroyed lives. And you're sitting like, that's different, that's different. And you know what's more important, Brett, is the peaceful transference of power. What if that transference of power is a hostile takeover disguised as a legitimate government that is operating, but it's really a deep state operation? Are we supposed to just overlook that and allow, peaceful transferences of power that are really coups, that are obviously, attempts to subvert our elections? So we're supposed to look back and say, okay, this peaceful transference of power looks like judges that can decide our candidate is not even put on the ballot. That's supposed to be a peaceful transference of power and so supporting our democracies and our stuff like that. Things like them boarding up windows during the election and remaining all night swiping stuff and ballot stuffing and all of that. But this is a peaceful transference of power. Or is a peaceful transference of power like what we saw come out of Hillary? He knows he's not a legitimate president. And them colluding with our intel agencies to come up with the whole Russia collusion, narrative, all of that. Is that peaceful? Listening to the president's calls and, leaking them to everybody. Is that peaceful? Having Milli Vanilli, get on the phone with China and say, don't worry about it. We got it all under control over here. Don't worry about it. Is that a peaceful transference of power? Yeah. I thought once your team loses, you get out of the way. But nope. Nah. They had their knuckles in Trump's administration the whole time, undermining it. And then through all of that, he still decides to go ahead and get on Marine One and leave. Still decides to do that. And here she is talking about the peaceful transference of power is important. Unbelievable that she would even say this. Yes, I'm going a little bit long tonight. I'm like, why not? Because I got to get this off my chest. All right. This right here just completely uprooted everything I was going to talk about tonight once I realized what they did to Trump. I'll be done in a minute. So hang in there, y'all. Here we go.
Donald Trump tried to seize power. So we can
Donald Trump
disagree
tried to
with
seize
policies, but the fact that he tried to seize power, the fact that he ignored the rulings of 61 courts, the fact that he ignored his own.
You mean like the court that just ruled that Trump can't be on the ballot? Uh-huh. Yeah, that the Ninth Circuit Court, perhaps. So he tried to seize power. How? When? When did he do that? I don't understand. They're creating stuff in the heads of people that I'm saying, do you understand what that would look like if it plays out in real life? Have you ever seen a dictator try to seize power like Trump did? I mean, did you not see the old World War I and II documentaries of how they invaded all of these different countries? You didn't see any of that? You think Mussolini went in deciding, you know what, the way I'm going to seize power in this country I'm trying to take over is get on Air Force One and leave. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and tell all of my soldiers to go down there and peacefully let your voices be heard. Then after that, we're going to go ahead and say, now go home, everybody. We don't want any trouble. We don't want to, that's what I'm going to do. That's how I'm going to seize power. Maybe this woman assumes that the people are dumb enough to when they think about someone seizing power, it looks like what we saw come out of Trump. Go down there and let your voices peacefully be heard. Then when they go ahead and solidified the election, he got on Air Force One and Marine One and left. But yet he tried to seize power.
Own Attorney General, his own White House counsel, who told him what he was saying about the election was false. It wasn't true.
So he has to believe them, right? See, when they tell him something, he has to believe them because, see, as the president, you don't have the independent mind to think that, well, you know what? Thanks for giving me your opinion, but I don't see it that way. Okay, you can tell me it's not true, but these are the same agencies that told me the laptop wasn't real. See, these are the same people who've been deceiving me the whole time. But now she's upset because we just heard her say, we don't want people like that, unlike that in the White House the next time. See, because Trump ain't going to have people in the White House like that around him this time coming up. See, so they were relying on those plants to do exactly what they did. Trump just let it go. Trump is over. Trump, there's no need to pursue this. And Trump's going, everything in me knows that something went wrong. I don't care how many times you keep telling me, nah, everything looks legit. Something about this doesn't smell right. And his instincts are legit. So is mine. So I don't care what the internet said. I don't care what YouTube and Twitter and all of them were telling us. You can't talk about this. There's absolutely no proof that the election. I'm going, You can send out 1 million intel community people to tell me, no, everything was good. And I'm going, You can sit back till you're blue in the face and say the J6 insurrection was the most dangerous attack on our, and I'm going, something about that ain't right. We're about to see. Why?
Claims were false, and he went out and made them anyway, knowing that. The extent to which while a violent mob was assaulting the Capitol, he wouldn't tell them to leave. Instead, he tweeted against his own vice president, and he poured fuel on the flames. Those are lines that can't be crossed. And look, this isn't about policy. I voted with Donald Trump 93% of the time.
No, it's not about
this
policy.
Is about the nation. It's about the republic. It's about the Constitution.
So let me go ahead and lower your suspicions about my motives by saying, look, I get it. This ain't about policy. But look, man, I voted for Trump like 99% of my. This is about me trying to protect you all. It's trying to protect our democracy and stuff. And J6, don't forget that. J6 and Trump, he didn't tell the people to go home, even though he did say, go home. Time to go home now, even though he did say that, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell everybody he didn't. So we're about to get some more information on J6 right now.
I had an interview with the former president where I told him that he did not win the election. That said, he's winning this election.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. He's winning this election. So now we're gonna close with this little bit of information because Liz Cheney in her book and everything, she's trying to say this is why Trump is a threat to the United States, and most likely this is why we got to stop him. He's dangerous and stuff like that. So this is J6 right here inside the Capitol. Who's that guy? Who's that guy right there? Who's that guy that just walked right up to that door as a coordinated group attempts to pull police away from the east door on the outside? Some guy walks up and wait a minute. Okay. That door right there is locked. George Tenney tries to open them from the inside. He can't. Okay, so wait. If he can't, what happens then? So if he can't open the door from the inside, okay, let's see what happens. From the inside, he can't. the magnetic door appears to be locked. Did Liz Cheney and her J6 committee see this footage? So who is this guy looking up to right here, guys? So he's inside the building. He sees the police trying to stop them from coming in. He goes to try to open it. Hey guys, I know we're trying to keep them out, but I'm trying to open it so they can come in, but it's locked. Now, somebody up in some room with a camera is looking down at this guy, and let's see what happens. There you go. Y'all see me? Y'all see me? I'm going back over to it now. Yeah, this one right here is locked. And then the other guy comes over. Look at that. Look at that guy. The other guy comes over in the same direction. He got a Trump flag. Look at that. How did he get in there already? How did he get in there? See? What's the guy doing in there? How did he get in there? How did these two get in there? Who are they talking to? Who are the people in the room up there on the computers and stuff? All right, you're clear. We're about to open the doors. Who are those people? Look at that. Appears to instruct someone to disable the magnetic locks. What? He tries the door again, and suspiciously it opens. The man responsible for disabling the magnetic locks, where is he? Why isn't he on trial? This right here is very suspicious. But Liz Cheney is saying it was Trump. He didn't tell the people to go home, and he tried to seize power. It looks like they gave over power by unlocking that door. And then we got this man.
You have to go home now. We have to have peace.
You hear that?
We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order.
Now, wait. You know what? Let me put on my liberal lenses for a second to see what that, and let me put on my rhino earplugs. The translation. Go over to the Capitol and seize power. Go ahead and subvert our democracy. Hang Mike Pence and kill Nancy Pelosi. There you go. Once I put on my liberal lenses and my liberal earplugs, I got the dog whistle. I was able to translate what he just said into Liz Cheney words. Here we go.
We've identified one of those buses. And you know what that means? It means that's their act. Two buses. And they had like some kind of discussion, a briefing, like the way the military leader would address his troops.
Yeah, they call it a huddle.
And then they together went to the escalators and up in the Union Station and were gone.
And they were all men.
They were all men.
men.
And all the Trump regalia. These men were in really good shape. It made comments like, wow, that's a real serious Trump supporter.
So wait a minute, Higgy. Wait a minute. You're telling me there were buses underneath that Capitol filled with a whole bunch of young, in shape feds or either assets that came out of those buses and went upstairs into the Capitol prior to those magnetic doors being open? Could it be that we were looking at some of those assets that went over to that door and said, this one's locked, what do you want me to do with this? Already had the MAGA flag in his hands. How'd he get that? So that's what you're saying? Because if that's the case, then it wasn't an insurrection at all. It was an inside insurrection.
These guys, and it said they all had knee pads, and they appeared.
Yeah, I went out for a second. I'm back. So it says that all of these young men who came out of that bus went up into the Capitol, and then that door opened up. That inside insurrection took place. He said they came out. They got knee pads. They got all kind of stuff. Now I don't know about y'all, but have y'all ever been to a Trump rally where you came with your knee pads and your elbow pads and all of that stuff? Like you're ready for action? See, that's my question. How about gas masks and things like the helmets? Remember the fist bump? He had his helmet on, full-blown helmet. Yeah, fist bump. I never came with any of those things when I went to a MAGA rally. So let's see what happened after they had their knee pads on and stuff.
Like they had common equipment, but they were not in uniform.
Oh, so you mean like common equipment, like all of those earpieces that we saw in the ears of these so-called MAGA folks. Push them up. Pushing people in the door. Why are you pushing me, man? You're forcing us in there. Why are you breaking that window out? Huh? And you got earpieces, but yet you're supposedly dressed like MAGA supporters. Overdressed, see? Because, I'm thinking you guys are dressed like what you think MAGA supporters would dress like when they come to a peaceful rally. Yeah, you got helmets, elbow pads, knee pads, and I'm going, there's no reason to wear that. That would have never been on my dress list if I'd have went up to Washington that day. Do you think I would have been packing? Okay, it's going to be a little chilly. I need some hats, some gloves, some knee pads, some elbow pads. You know what? I need a helmet. I need a helmet. A couple face masks. And let me see what else I might need. Some earpieces. There you go. That's what I'm going to need to go up there and let my voices peacefully be heard. That's what I always take to a Trump rally.
They behaved in a uniform manner, and we intend to get all of that video evidence from unions.
They behaved in a uniform, systematic manner, like they all had a goal and agenda. But yet they were dressed like what they thought Trump supporters would be dressed like, to try to blend in with the crowd. And they don't know how to do that, and that's why they always stand out like sore thumbs. Every time they try to blend in, everybody's going, something ain't right about them. That's why you heard so many people point out Bigfoot, Fed. That's why you saw them saying, that's Antifa trying to break in there. That's why they were questioning that dude that I showed y'all on my show a couple weeks ago, where he was breaking a window out, and they said, why are you doing that? And he got mad at them. Yeah, you shut up, man. Don't be asking me what. You the one broke the window, even though you just recorded me breaking the window. As he turns and shows his earpiece, as they got all of these face masks covering up their face. See, isn't that odd? It's unbelievable. But yet, Liz Cheney, she said it was an insurrection and stuff.
From the escalators, from the parking lot. We have other eyewitnesses. Much to the chagrin of everybody that was in those buses and everyone who commanded them to be there. Yeah. We've identified one of those buses.
Uh-oh.
And you know what that means?
What?
That means that's there.
Woo! That's what that means, y'all. That's their ASS. That's their Detroit. That's their donkey. That's their junk in the trunk. That's what that means. And Raggedy Ray, been saying all kind of stuff like what?
Bus is a serial numbered vehicle. And in America, the change of ownership of a serial numbered vehicle is documented. So that means we can begin to trace from the original owner of that bus, where it was sold and who bought it, and then who it was leased to and where it disappeared. And then eventually those buses were removed from the Union Station, and we're going to document all of that.
So you believe that those buses held undercover officers, not informants, correct?
Yeah, I feel very, very confident that everybody that was on those two buses were FBI assets. And I have a high degree of belief that they were actual FBI agents. And I'm sorry to say, ma'am, my objective conclusion is that senior officials at the FBI were deeply involved there.
That right there. Senior officials at the FBI was deeply involved. So what does that make me think? That makes me think that if they were involved, people like Liz Cheney knows it as well. You think she would have got on that J6 committee, and legitimately tried to find out the truth and Adam Singh this issue? They were handpicked because they know that this is all fixed. They know that this was a big psych op. They know that. That's why they're fighting like heck to protect that whole J6 narrative. That whole J6 narrative is the narrative that these raggedy Supreme Court justices just tried to use to remove Trump from the ballot. They're trying to say Trump was responsible for an insurrection that we just looked at and saw someone inside that building signal to somebody who was watching them that these doors are locked. How are we going to let these insurrectionists in that we're supposed to be trying to keep out if those doors are locked? And magically, those doors became unlocked. That guy didn't jerry-rig it. He didn't use a screwdriver. He didn't use a hammer to break it. Somebody pushed a button. That's what they did. And unlocked that door. And yet, they're removing Trump from a ballot based on an insurrection. Somebody said, wow, to the streets. I feel like it. Every single day I watch this stuff and I cover this stuff, it burns me up sometimes. I'll be going, what's the alternative to this? If these people are willing to go to these extremes, I mean, I worry. I mean, the stuff that they're doing now is so desperate and so blatantly obvious that I'm like, wow, what else are they willing to do? I don't put it past anything because I get it. Their whole survival, it relies on them stopping Trump. And so it comes back to my initial, analogy about a wild trapped animal. They're at that point where they are saying, we just gonna have to chew our own paw off. I mean, it's gonna hurt, but we're gonna chew the paw off and deal with the consequences afterwards. But sadly to say, the American public feels like we're at that point too, where we're saying, now we done sat through 2 impeachments. We're sitting through 4 indictments. We're sitting through 91 bogus charges on Trump. Now we're sitting here looking at them trying to remove Trump from a ballot in a whole state. Y'all are trying to make us chew our paw off. Don't make us chew our paw off. Don't put the people up against the wall where they're going, man, I exhausted all of my options right here. Now I got to chew my paw off. Nobody wants that. We want to resolve all of this mess in our country peacefully. And I don't feel like we at war with liberals and all that stuff. They're blew out. They're blew out. I'm worried about the people who got the power to do the stuff that we just covered in my show and get away with it. Those are the people that the American people are really at war with. It has nothing to do with Al-Qaeda. It ain't got nothing to do with Iran and all of the North Korea. Yeah, these are threats, but not emergencies like this. This is right now the existential threat to our country, to the homeland. It ain't white nationalism. It ain't white supremacy. It ain't global warming. It's none of that. It is these small groups of powerful people who are abusing their power and are really subverting our republic. That's what it is. And I'm here to expose it. And it might even cost me. It's been costing me financially, that's for sure, y'all. They've been sticking it to me on my channel when it comes down to my ads and things like that, guys. So I want to encourage you guys to support the channel by, number one, watching any videos that I've currently uploaded as standalones that you might have missed because they don't send out the notification. Even though I might get a video monetized, if they're not sending it out and people aren't watching it, then I still don't reap the benefits of the commercials and things like that. You know, and I mean, I upload a video and I'm sitting there saying, okay, I got 2,000 views on it. Whereas before, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 views. And, that was enough to make up the difference and also make me more, accessible to advertisers. But, advertisers are saying, they're stifling the growth of your channel. We don't want to invest a lot of money into sponsoring or advertising if we're only guaranteed 4,000 views out of a 6-minute video. So it is important that you guys support the channel through watching. I'm giving y'all the breakdown of how YouTubers actually survive and make a living doing this, which allows me to provide the content that I do for you guys, without no pressure on you, except for your support. Just simply watch the videos, share the videos, like the videos. And when they start doing stuff like that, and it makes you feel like you got to come up with alternative methods to support your channel and survive, it sucks. It makes you really feel vulnerable. You're saying, man, there was a time I never would have to ask anybody for any types of donations or fundraisers. None of that stuff is on my radar. I didn't even worry about getting merch. That's how good life was in the beginning before they start doing the crap that we're seeing. I was like, yeah, if merch comes along, that's great. But now everything is designed to help me survive this right here until we can get through this. So the election's coming up, it ain't going to get better. It's not going to get better. It's probably going to get worse. So all the support that I can get from you guys really, really helps by liking, watching, sharing. If you've been unsubscribed, resubscribe. Make sure you have your notifications set to all. If you want to buy some merch, please feel free to do that. Don't forget to text MAGA to that number that is on the screen. I think it's on the screen. Let me see, make sure. I passed it up already. So if you haven't done so already, text MAGA to 330-974-4607 so I can alert you on some things. Tonight, I think I'm going to take some time to go through and, confirm that you guys are in the MAGA crew on my text chain. And then finally, like I said, the link to support the channel is right below the video. I'm not sure if tonight is the last night for the fundraiser or not, but I'll check. But please check it out and subscribe to my alternative channel because I'm going to start doing some live streams on that channel as well. Somebody said, you're amazing. And somebody said, check your email. I'm checking it right after I get off here. Okay. So God bless y'all. God bless America. Yes, time to go. Gizmo done took up residence right down here next to me I took my shirt, my jacket off and threw it on the floor. He's laying in it right now. He's laying. He's like, now it's Gizmo's. It's Gizmo's pillow. At least he's laying in army fatigue right there because he's ready for battle. Just like I am, darn it. So God bless y'all. God bless America. And we'll see y'all tomorrow. Same time, same place, man. This is sauce. Yeah, coast. Yeah, round y'all throats. I know you see the way we tear up the place, yeah. Take care.